Hello, everybody. Laura Eisenhower here. I'm very grateful to be with these two wonderful friends of mine that I've known for quite some time, Chief Golden Light Eagle and Jen BERRYHILL. And they've been a part of putting on, conferences for a really long time. I mean, in actual fact, Chief is the founder of the Star Knowledge Conferences, correct?
Right.
And Jen, I've known you for a while, and you've been an amazing organizer of Star Knowledge events. And when did you start doing that?
So my first conference that I attended was in 2009, and then I started organizing conferences in 2014.
Awesome. So I'm going to talk a little bit about this particular event coming up. I have to say I've been speaking at Star Knowledge conferences since, I believe 2011 was the first one, and that was in Mount Shasta, and it was during a very powerful Venus transit time, and that was also around the time it was your birthday, Chief. And
yeah, right.
What?
That's right.
Yeah, and I'll never forget that event. That was such a powerful event, and that was almost like, gosh, that was like 9 years ago, which is amazing. So it's been wonderful to stay connected over the years, and these are really, really profound conferences. I always just have an amazing time. The community is incredible. Ceremony takes place, lots of incredible vendors, and important, star knowledge that gets shared. So I'm going to talk a little bit, I just want to tell everybody a little bit more about Chief Golden Light Eagle and also Jennifer. And first, the name of this event, it's 11/11 Star Knowledge Conference, and it is November 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th in Estes Park, Colorado. And the main speakers are going to be Chief Golden Light Eagle, Jennifer Black Elk, which is actually her spirit name, and Grandma CHANDRA, Laura Eisenhower, Elizabeth April, BLISS PREMA, James GILLILAND. And if you look at the website, starknowledge.org, you can find out more. There's, more than the ones that I mentioned. And you can find out how to get tickets. But let me just, really introduce our guests here. So Chief Golden Light Eagle is the host and founder of the Star Knowledge Conference. He's a teacher of the Star Ways. Chief Golden Light Eagle is one of the original code carriers of Turtle Island in North America. Nakota Sundance Chief Golden Light Eagle is a member of the Nakota Inungtawan.
Ihunktawan. It means camped at the end.
Say that again?
It means camps at the end.
Oh, okay. Band of South Dakota. Oh, and you got to listen to this, him on the guitar and singing. He's a spiritual advisor, and he is one of the 7 Sundance chiefs for the Yankton Sioux Sungdeska Sapa Tiaspe. You should say that.
Yeah, Shungdeshka Sapa Tiospai, which means Black Spotted Horse family or society.
Awesome. Okay. Through years of prayer and ceremony with a group of spiritual teachers, he has brought forth interpretations of the star laws. He co-authored 4 books titled Maka Wikapi Wikohan. You can say that because I don't want to mess it up.
It's Maka Wichach Wichocha, which means the universal and spiritual laws of creation. Then Iktomi Wichach Wichocha, which is the universal and spiritual laws of Universal Mother, and Chawaka Wichoka, which is the universal spiritual laws of Creator. And there's a 4th one, which is called Apa Owichakpe, the ways of Morning Star.
Wow, and one of them, one of these manuals was actually inducted into the Smithsonian Institution during a formal ceremony on September 26, 1999, and the manual was also donated to the ARE Library in 2002. So Chief Golden Light Eagle will be sharing about the 11/11, 12/12, and 13/13 teachings featured in the books that he authored through the guidance of spirit and ceremony. And Jen BERRYHILL, beautiful blue owl woman, and say that in
Lakota.
Yes, in Lakota.
So yes. It's Hihato Washdewi.
Beautiful. She is the co-director and event coordinator. and is presenting about the way of the sacred tree. Jen will be sharing about the star path within the universal and spiritual laws of creation, giving you an introduction to the influences of the 1313 star path. You will learn how to work with these energies in the cycles of the moon and in your daily ceremony, your life. Through the 13 dimensions of the sacred tree of life, past 13 tests of 13 gates of 13 moons and 13 tones. Ascend to the frequency of love. I'm just like so thrilled because I'm all about, you know, these numbers. And in 2009, at the beginning of her seeking journey, Jen attended her first Star Knowledge conference in Farmington, New Mexico. The experience was incredibly activating, and she discovered her love for ceremony and the teachings of the Symbols book, which quickly accelerated her spiritual awakening. In 2014, Jen organized her first Star Knowledge conference held in Loveland, Colorado, and she lovingly continues to bring the star tribes together to gather and learn about the universal and spiritual laws of creation with Chief Golden Light Eagle. Jen is also a Sundance shadow coach and teacher of the Star Ways. At the Star Knowledge events, you will see Jen speaking, moderating, and facilitating the Sacred Sister ceremony and teaching about the 1313 star path, in addition to welcoming you to the event. So it's really wonderful to have you guys with me. And it's just been such a long time, and I'm so thrilled to, you know, come back and speak at a Star Knowledge with you guys. I will, be presenting on things that also connect to the 13th. So welcome. How's everybody?
Doing so good.
Chicago.
So give us a little bit of an idea about what this event is all about. I mean, I've been there a number of years and I could say a lot, but I mean, this is more than just an event. Maybe one of you take us into, you know, what kind of experience people would be, you know, having in more than just speakers.
Well, the conferences were originally geared towards people that were having experiencers, you know, experiences, their personal experiences, and nowhere to go with them, because way back when people were being more or less picked on, and you know, they were like crazy and all this, but there were so many people that were starting to see, hear, feel, dream, experience almost an organized pattern of events, you know, that took place and led people together in order to let them know that they weren't crazy. So when they got together, they shared things that made sense, you know, but they were really afraid to say anything to the, you know, mainstream America. So it opened up. So like the first Star Knowledge conferences, there was a lot of people that springboarded off of that, like with Drunvalo Melchizedek and Barbara Marciniak. You know, Robert Dean, when I first met him, that's when he what do you call it, when he violated, or he broke his security oath and all of that, and he's come out in the open. So I got to witness all these people that come out. Dolores Cannon, there's so many that are well known now that use that as a foundation to get up and running with, you know, whatever that was needed at the time. So there was, and what I presented at the time, I didn't realize it. I was given some symbols through the star people and through a variety of speakers that I ran into, such as you know, Giorgio Bongiovanni, you know, Richard Boylan, Michael Heisman, and there was so many, Barbara Lamb. There were so many people that had odds and ends and things that we all put things together in each other's little hoop, you know, things that were missing. We helped each other out that way. So mine, I didn't know at the time, were symbols that come from these 18 UFO crashes, you know, that were in 1947. There was like 18 of them, and there was like 10 different star races from those crashes. But Roswell was the most famous one, you know, but there was 18 altogether. And I talked with some of the people over at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base that were retired or older. One lady was 90 some years old that worked there, and she told me that they had at that time 66 bodies, and that was in 1996, over there in Wright Patterson. So the list goes on and on about the information. So after I found out that these symbols were on the craft, they were on all 18 crashes. And although each one of them light ships, they had all the hieroglyphs were all different. These sets that we helped and translate were the only ones that were the same in each one of the crafts. So there was a connection there, with the symbols, and how we translated them they brought them down through dimension. The information was brought down 7 dimensions down into English. So, the translation, I'm pretty sure that there was a lot that was missing, from the translation, the original meaning that went with it. So what we have come down to English, and that's all we got. So I've been working with that for the last 20 some years, but still brought in the 1212, which part of that, the 1313 symbols, or 13 dimensional information for these 3 groups, 11 dimension, 12 and 13 dimensional groups, the ones that work with their vibrations and at levels. So that's my job, working at the universal and spiritual law. So I'm continuing to do that. But the other thing that the Spirit told me was that these calendars, they said that the calendars wasn't right. All these calendars, the star groups, the astrology, with the spider people, they said a keen eye will correct astrology. So correct astrology, that means there's something not right or not in sync or in alignment with everything. So sometimes things are just automatic, and the number 13 popped in, 13, because that's a feminine number.
Yeah.
That totally goes against all of Piscean age propaganda, all their thought bacteria. The number was 12, and they made all of us believe that was the number, but it's not. It's 13, because everything's 13. 13 new moons, 13 quarter moons, 13 full moons, 13 last quarter moons. There's 13 constellations, 13 tones. Name it. There's 13 altogether.
Yes. 13
chakras, and so we're looking at that. So the timelines were different too, and they talked about a loop that we're stuck in. We're stuck in a loop it's called Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Then we go back into it. Sunday, Monday. It's a loop, just continuous like that. That make us do things over and over and over. And like you, Jen, myself, we know we've got out of that not knowing that we have, but we still retain the old 7 days. But if you're looking at 365 days, before the white man came over here on Turtle Island, there was no calendar, see? So everybody had a different name for each day. 365 names, 365 ceremonies. So that's what, as Jen knows this, so that's what we've been working on, to get the 11th, 12th, and 13th, to get it started on that level. So now I have the 365 names of each day of the year, and They're all ceremony. So I wanted to introduce part of that, because this is a time of remembrance, a ceremony of remembrance.
Definitely. Yeah, the missing piece, it's incredibly important for people to understand the 13, how that connects with this ascension timeline, and just really connecting to the 0 point unified field. And it's so interesting that you say that about the 7 days. When we think about the 7 chakras and not being told about more, why have we been incarnating over and over again in this time loop? It's just like the days of the week. It's like, oh man. So yeah, a lot of important knowledge. And the thing is about going to these conferences is they're very activating. where we, you know, when we're talking in like codes and, you know, bringing in numbers and frequencies that have been distorted or put in reversal codes or scrambled, it takes a, you know, major activation. So can you talk to us a little bit, Jen, about just the kind of ceremonies that you conduct and facilitate with women, and just any of the sort of energy work that you are bringing to this conference?
Well, sure. You know, what's really amazing about these conferences, and it's kind of what really sets our conferences apart from others, is that it is more spiritually based. So we already have, you know, ceremony starting from the minute, you know, we're getting things rolling. We're bringing in the big drum, we're singing the songs, we're calling in the guardians of the land, we're calling in everybody's, you know, spirit guides, ancestors, everyone that we're working with. They all are asked to come in and join us for this conference. And so, you know, from the minute it starts, it's just that you feel the energy building and building and building, and the vibration gets really, really high. And that's the part that's really activating. And that's the part that, you know, you just want to stay in and you don't want to leave. And, you know, it's always so great at the end because everybody just feels like you're home and you're connected with your family, the family that actually gets you and hears you and understands you and reads you and supports you. And so, you know, it's kind of hard to leave at the end. And then at the end, you're kind of thinking, wow, you know, what just happened to me? You know, it's kind of hard to put into words. So on those levels, you know, it's a very high vibration gathering. And through that process, you know, we're bringing in all these different speakers that share on so many different topics. You know, we love having you there because, you know, you're sharing that galactic history and you're talking about these ascension timelines, and, you know, you're giving us ways to work through these energies. And that's what's so key that we need right now, is kind of that more of how do we do this? You know, where are we going and how do we do this? And, you know, instead of just, you know, being stuck in like the day-to-day of, okay, well, I know all this stuff, you know, and I just don't know what to do with it. Well, you know, we're hoping that you walk away with a bigger understanding of not only who you are, but, you know, what you're doing in this world and on a galactic level as well. And so, you know, during the conference, we do have other ceremonies that we do as well. We facilitate a Sacred Sisters ceremony. And, you know, that's where we really get together and do the work, you know, to really make a difference somewhere, somehow. This year is a little bit different. We're actually going to be doing the ceremony on 11/11 at 11/11. And it's going to be free. So this is less of, you know, part of the conference, but it's more open to everybody to come. And we have a woman that's bringing like 195 flags of all the different countries on this planet to do like a world peace prayer for global peace. And so this year, our ceremony is going to be really catering toward bringing in that oneness and that unity, and prayers that prevail on this earth and throughout our galactic system. So I'm really, really excited for everything that's happening. Everything's lined up so beautifully, and we're feeling really supported. Tickets are selling pretty fast, and so we're really excited just to hopefully have as many people there as we can, because we're all helping each other unlock our own remembrance. Like Chief Golden Light Eagle was saying, this is the ceremony of remembrance. And, you know, when we get together, you know, we're activating each other. And so you'll have a conversation and you'll have like this big aha, and you're like, oh my gosh, yes. And so there's that constant, you know, remembering and triggering, and, you know, it just builds and builds and builds. And that's, the magic.
That's awesome. I'm really, that's a lot of what I'm focusing on too, is root races, starseed, you know, groups, and the importance of how we are assisting one another in activating our dormant DNA. And also, you know, things related to polarity integration to begin to step into the fullness of all that we are. And so, I mean, I always find it, we're just such a dance, you know, this information coming together just all blends and complements each other. And literally people do walk away feeling, you know, changed. And when we take that home and we speak with family and friends, even if we're not speaking about these sort of topics, it comes through our energy field and our voice print, you know, these activations and codes, you know, so it's a really great way to power up and you know, go back out into the world and be an activator and a facilitator of, you know, transformation and change, because there's a lot of communication going on beyond the verbal, you know, telepaths and just the way we communicate with different levels of our beings happen more than we realize. There's just so much static and distorted noise that can stand in the way of us being able to see that. So I really encourage everybody to come. Besides, you know, what I shared as far as, you know, the website goes, starknowledge.org, is there anything either one of you want to share about, you know, purchasing tickets, the location, any of the sort of logistical things that I missed? I'm going to put a lot in the descriptor of this video, but I just want to let you both, you know, kind of close it and tell the audience what they need to know about how to make it happen.
Sure, yeah, I would just invite everybody, check out starknowledge.org. There's all kinds of information on the website that tells you about our different speakers that are coming. The location, it's in Rocky Mountain National, well, it's near Rocky Mountain National Park in Estes Park. So it's the Rocky Mountain Hotel in Estes Park. It's being newly renovated, so we're gonna have a really beautiful place to stay. It overlooks Lake Estes, and so we'll be kind of working with the waters, the sacred waters that are coming down from those really tall peaks, so that, you know, that beautiful energy is gonna go into that water and it's gonna travel down and just fertilize the land with all of our love. So check out there, and then we do have some discounted tickets still available, so you can purchase tickets on there. You can get them for the single days. Laura, you're speaking on Friday night, but we love having everybody there for all 3 days. So we have some discounted tickets for the 3 days. We have like a buy one get one half off ticket right now through October 15th. So grab your best friend and come join us. It's going to be a really, really amazing time.
Oh, totally. And I just wanted to add this too. What's really incredible is working with the elements and really being close to the earth, air, fire, water, ether. And this is an event that brings us into, you know, these cosmic earth energies like no other. So I hope to see you there, everybody. Thank you so much. Was there anything that you wanted to close with, Chief?
I think you said earth, fire, wind, and water, and now were the key words in for ceremony, because we're looking around and our air is contaminated, and we need ceremony for that. And a lot of times that's exactly what we do. We pray to clear them skies, because if the air is contaminated, we're contaminated. The water is contaminated, we're contaminated. The fire is contaminated, we're contaminated. If the earth's contaminated, we're all contaminated. So we don't have the ability to undo all of that, but we do have the gift of prayer that makes things happen. If we can't do it on a physical level, then we go on the spiritual side to ask for help, and it works. I watched the results especially with the women, when they put their mind to doing things, praying things, and they make things happen. So as men, we'll sing for the women when that time comes, because we need clean air, you know, and it works. I watched from Estes Park, almost all the ceremonies, when I come home, the skies were blue. We got our blue back, you know, for months. There was no chemtrails, nothing like that. Every time we do them ceremonies, I watch the skies. So it's really important that we do those things, because the mind makes things happen, the heart makes things happen, and your prayer and sincerity, you know, put it all together and makes things happen. And
Absolutely.
that's miracles are created, you know.
Yeah.
Absolutely, totally. I mean, there wouldn't be mind control if they weren't threatened by the fact that we hold this power in our intentions, in our hearts, in just the way we just combine our energies. And you know, the whole deal with mind control is to trip us up so that energetic flow isn't there, and we're allowing our creative energies to be infected by the propaganda, so that we create something that is not for the benefit of ourselves or humanity. And this is a way to reset and get that focus back, because it is powerful. We are the elementals. We are made of these elements. It's in our DNA. And that focus, intention, and coming together as a group can create the change that we'd like to see. So I know that this is going to be powerful, and I will put all the information in the description. I really thank you both for inviting me. I've missed you so much. I think it's been a year, And I'll see you guys in November. And thanks everybody for listening, and hope to see you there.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.